You can start, sir.
Okay, thank you. Welcome back again. When one has a mix of solid inputs and light scrap, which is a common case in all non-ferrous foundries, then the charging sequence and total process of charging is very important. First, charge the mixed solid materials like ingots, runners, etc. in densely packed manner. See to it that every solid piece touches the other piece physically. That is the only way to achieve easy passage of electromagnetic induction. Once the charge is molten, charge the light scrap first into the molten metal, top it up with some solid or heavy scrap on the top of it or some ingot on the top of it. This is called as sandwich method. From the bottom side, there is liquid pool in which once the turning boring or light scrap enters, that liquid takes a viscous or semi-solid condition. Then further turning boring or light scrap is charged on it and it is densely packed further by putting some counterweight or some heavy material on the top of it. Thereby, once the light scrap is densely packed, electric conduction between all particles happen very fast and the melting process becomes easy. Continue this process of sandwich method till your all light scrap ends. At the end, top up or balance your weight target by adding the known returns or ingot. Improper charging sequence may lead to loss of about 10 units per ton of liquid metal. I have seen in many foundries that whenever they charge turning boring, they often put heaps and heaps of turning boring even on the top of the furnace crown. That should never happen. Why? Because unless there is some heavy material put on the top of turning boring, it will not enter or it will not get dropped into the molten pool. A small amount of turning boring which is touching the liquid metal or the heel metal at the bottom of crucible will get melted very soon. But the turning boring which is above that will remain loosely packed. Now, if it is oily, then it will get heated, it will burn or char off, and that carbonaceous material will create further resistance in it. And all this vicious circle will lead to a gap between the two charged materials. The bottom liquid pool will get superheated or it may reach the vapor point of the liquid, but the jammed turning borings above the liquid pool will get jammed at that location and it will never drop into that molten pool. And it may lead to serious melting losses as well as in remote conditions, it may lead to severe accident cases. So proper charging sequence is utmost important. Cold start cycle. We saw that during cold start, if we start the furnace with full power, then we can save on energy. But if we are dealing with leaded materials like pre-cutting brass or leaded bronzes or gunmetals, then we have to be very, very careful during the cold start. We have to see to it that the lead is gradually heated and it takes its liquid condition and drips down into the crucible bottom. until then, you cannot go for full power. So it's a tricky situation. We have to compromise on full power starting for leaded materials, as well as we need not waste too much of energy by very slow or very gradual start. Naturally, it is a practice that people consume double the time as that of normal melting cycle for the cold start. But it can be squeezed as close to 1.25 or 1.4 times of the normal melting cycle. Such a optimized cold start cycle can save up to 5 units per ton of liquid metal. Avoid superheat. Superheat is a double-edged sword. It increases fluidity, no doubt, but it consumes more energy. Every 10-degree superheat consumes about 2.5 units more per ton of liquid metal. Secondly, at superheated condition, the oxidation loss, the melting loss, is excessively high. How can one control the superheat or optimize the superheat? That is by process control. One can go for a warmer mold. One can reduce the travel distance, the travel time from crucible to the mold. One can use a preheated transfer ladle or transfer metal pouring spoons. By such means, we can reduce the superheat. And the saving potential is to the tune of 5 units per ton. Now, excessive holding. This is a very, very peculiar case wherein there is a big cultural gap seen in majority of non-ferrous foundrymen. In earlier days, maybe 30, 40 or 50 years ago, all the non-ferrous foundries were operating on hard coke as its basic source of energy. सवेरे जब मिस्त्री आएगा तो वो कल की ठंडी भट्टी तोड़ेगा. That is, he will clean the clinker in yesterday's cold furnace. Fill it with full coke as per the schedule of that day's production. आज कितना काम करना है उसके हिसाब से. Those people used to have thumb rules that for brass, 1 kg coke can deliver you 3 kg brass. तो अगर हमें 300 किलो ब्रास की ढलाई आज करनी है तो 100 किलो कोयला हमको लगेगा. तो उसमें से 70 किलो कोयला वो नीचे डालेगा एज बेड कोक, उसके ऊपर क्रूसिबल रखेगा, साइड में 20-25 किलो पैक करेगा और 5-10 किलो बचा के रखेगा. So in this manner, the furnace used to get packed in the morning. For the first heat, it used to take about 2 to 3 hours, wherein the hard coke gradually catches fire and it reaches to the top. And once it is fully fired, the blowers were shut off and the vents at the bottom of the furnace were opened to allow natural draft. Hard coke has got this peculiarity that it does not require continuous excess airflow. Once it starts combusting, it continues and it delivers gradual heat. So that practice of charging the furnace in the morning and utilizing the full fuel gradually over 6 to 8 hours, that leads to full day production for those people. That habit became a culture of such foundries. And that culture never changed with the change of equipment. The old coke-fired crucible pit furnace got replaced by induction furnace. But the habit of keeping the 300 kg liquid pool available from morning till evening, it never changed. So naturally, crucible size became 300 kg. It started in the morning. Depending on the panel size, it may take 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour to melt. And once molten, people keep it on holding till their last casting or the last drop of metal is consumed. I would say this is a criminal wastage of energy. हमने अपना औजार बदल दिया. हमने बैलगाड़ी से बोलेरो या स्कॉर्पियो तक अपनी व्हीकल की डिमांड बदल दी. तो क्या आप स्कॉर्पियो भी बैल के सहारे चलाओगे? नहीं चलाओगे. स्कॉर्पियो में डीजल भरोगे और वो 80, 90, 100, 150 के स्पीड पे चलाओगे आप. फिर इंडक्शन फर्नेस आप कोयले की भट्टी जैसी क्यों चला रहे हो? Induction furnace is a very highly precise and practically a high performance equipment if it is used in that manner. Induction melting is special for its speed of melting. If your daily consumption is 300 kg spread over 8 hours, then that comes close to about 80 kg per hour as your liquid metal demand. Any metal, if you are holding for more than 30 minutes, then that becomes waste of energy. So design in such a manner that 100, 120 kg crucible should be sufficient for you. What will happen? Your basic panel size will reduce. Your fixed charges in the electricity bill will get reduced. You will get 100 kg, 120 kg metal in 1 hour. Consume that metal. Although your job size is small, I understand. आधा किलो, 1 किलो, 700 ग्राम, 800 ग्राम ऐसे आपके बॉक्स के पंच वेट रहते हैं, पर फिर भी आपके पास उतने बक्से तैयार भी होते हैं. So consume that metal within 1 hour, 1.5 hour at the most. Charge the next furnace. Melt it quick, consume it quick. दिन में 3 बार करो ना ये. फिर ये जो आपका 800, 1000 यूनिट तक का खपत जाती है, वो सीधे 450, 500 यूनिट के आसपास आ जाएगी. So balance your melting capacity with your melting capacity, with your molding capacity, and see to it that you are not required to hold metal for more than 30 minutes. Convection loss. Thermal air currents or air draft is very common in all furnaces. Whenever ambient air comes in contact with hot molten metal or hot metal, it becomes light and it travels upwards. That creates an air circulation pattern within the foundry premise or within the melt shop. That pattern can only be broken if we are able to cover the crucible. Every furnace manufacturer delivers you the furnace along with a lid. We, the foundrymen, are super genius and we do away with that lid. We think that the lid is a useless commodity. हर बार ये ढक्कन कौन खोलते बैठेगा? पर भाई साहब, आप अपने किचन में झांक के देखो. आपके घर में जब रसोई पकती है तो तड़का देने के बाद, सब्जी डालने के बाद हर बार रसोई पकाने वाले व्यक्ति उसको ढक के रखती है. So in my every lecture I take this example that there is a lot to learn from our kitchen and implement in our foundry practices. especially in melting and metal treatment. So from there, keep it closed, keep it enclosed, ढक के रखो और फिर देखो क्या चमत्कार होता है. ये कन्वेक्शन करंट जो एयर के बनते हैं वो तुरंत बंद हो जाएंगे. Naturally, the heat being lost to the air will stop. That much energy will be saved. And you get one more benefit out of it, that your working ambient temperature remains cooler than before. Because if your furnace is delivering heat to the air, that hot air you are breathing in, you are living in that hot air. So naturally, it becomes an inhabitable condition. So if you are keeping it covered, your ambient air also becomes cooler. Radiation loss. In all the losses in the induction furnace or any melting process, not only induction, but any melting process, radiation loss is the killer. It takes away maximum amount of energy. And this too can be stopped by a simple lid. If you don't have a lid, a simple cover of ceramic fiber blanket or Ceravul blanket will do the purpose, will serve the purpose. Now this is the equation, total losses from open top or any open area of a hot body. The first part, H into delta T raised to 1.25 into A, is the convective loss. The second part, epsilon into T raised to 4 minus T ambient raised to 4 into A into 4.88 is the radiation loss. Now we replace the figures. Natural convection rate of heat transfer for air from any hot surface is 2.8 kilocalories per meter square per hour degree Celsius. A is the furnace lid opening area. Let us assume it as 0.2 square meters. Metal temperature, our tapping temperature 1150 degrees Celsius, ambient temperature 30 degrees Celsius. Epsilon, emissivity of partially oxidized copper is 0.5. So replacing these values, we understand that 3628 kilocalories are lost in convection and 8535 kilocalories are lost in radiation per hour. Now we know that 860 kilocalories become 1 unit, 1 kilowatt hour. We're dividing this figure by 860, we get 14.14 units per hour of opening. अगर हमारी क्रूसिबल, हमारी फर्नेस 1 घंटा उसका मुंह खुला रहता है तो हम 14 यूनिट गंवाते हैं. खुला कब रहेगा इसका मुंह या कब जरूरी है? At only 2 occasions. The crucible top must be open at only 2 occasions, and that is during charging the metal and during dispensing or discharging the metal. इनके अलावा क्रूसिबल का मुंह खुला होने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. If we observe your charging and melting cycle till the metal is ready for melting, then you can take it as a 60-40 ratio. 60% of the time the furnace has to remain open because someone is putting fresh material into it. Someone is performing metal treatment on it. But 40% of the time the furnace can be kept in closed condition under a cover, because that is the time between 2 charging cycles. First the material is charged, it takes about 5 minutes, 7 minutes to go to the bottom to turn to liquid. Then the next charge is put into the crucible. In between these two charges, one can keep the crucible closed, covered. So as such, we can save on this 40% of the time. If we consider that about 2 hours is the melting cycle, then 40% of it become close to 3/4 hour. And if we are consuming or performing 3 such heats per day, then naturally we are saving on 2.5 hours. And every hour it is 14 units. So daily saving becomes 30 to 50 units. आपके एक कारीगर की तनख्वाह हर दिन निकल जाएगी सिर्फ और सिर्फ क्रूसिबल को ढक के रखने से. अभी जो बताया वही है, स्लाइड में लिखा है, कंट्रोलिंग कन्वेक्शन एंड रेडिएशन लॉसेस. सिंपल कवर ऑफ सिरेमिक wool blanket can control all these losses. So once it is covered, then we can save 14 units per hour. Now we are coming close to the end of this presentation. Let us have this summary sheet. Whatever was explained in the earlier slides, a single line is the extract of that. Efficient lining or effective use of lining saves about 5 units. Coil level working saves about 8 units. Clean charge saves about 20 units. Proper charging sequence saves about 10 units. 80% power cold start saves about 5 units. Avoiding superheats saves about 5 units. Avoiding undue holding. This is the most debatable issue. It can save up to 400 units. Avoiding radiation loss can save about 14 units. So total saving potential is 193 units without considering the undue holding. And if we consider the undue holding, then it is 593 units. And that is a challenge in front of operating non-ferrous foundries, because undue holding has become the habit or culture of the foundry, and which is totally wrong metallurgically as well as energy efficiently. Thank you for patient listening. Now I invite the questions.
Yes, any questions? They can unmute and ask the question.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Sir, we are also doing the same practice. We are keeping the metal above the coil also. So
Okay.
now if we start keeping it below, crucible capacity is around 150 kg.
Okay.
But our pouring time is too high.
Okay.
We are doing gravity die casting,
Okay.
where the average casting weight is about 500, 600 grams.
Okay.
It's gravity die casting.
Yes.
So 3 people do pouring.
Okay. So 3 dies are
And-
working simultaneously.
Yeah.
So 1.5 kg you are consuming per pouring cycle, you can say.
Yes, it may be.
And
It can be between
a pouring cycle lasts for about 2 minutes.
about half an hour,
No,
1.5 hour or 2 hours.
No, I am not asking that. Short to short timing per die. 2 minutes.
Pardon?
That's how much it is. Short to short timing of each die. If you pour metal in one die, then
Yes.
after how many minutes do you pour metal in the same die?
Just they open the die after a few seconds, about 10 seconds after
Okay.
pouring. And again they dip in the water
Okay.
and keep the core and again pour the material.
Okay, so that total time, can we take it as 2 minutes?
Cycle time can be, yeah, 2 minutes.
Okay. So if we take a target of 30 minutes of maximum holding,
Yeah.
Then we can say that in 30 minutes, you can consume 15 shots per die.
15
That
shots.
is 45 shots.
Hmm.
That is about 22 or 25 kg of metal. Am I right?
Yeah. Right.
And if you extend it to 1 hour, then 50
Hmm.
kg is your metal requirement per hour.
Okay.
So 150 kg metal kept ready is your 3-hour metal requirement.
Generally, they do it in 2 hours.
Okay.
It depends on again upon the die to die how much. Sometimes
Okay.
the casting is heavy, then it takes lesser time.
Correct. So see to it that your metal is consumed within 1 hour maximum.
Maximum 1 hour. Okay.
Yes. So you may have to go for a smaller crucible, or you may have to increase your number of dies.
There's no space to increase number of dies.
Okay.
In a furnace, like it is already small size furnace.
Okay.
So more than 3 people cannot be accommodated.
Okay. Then if you reduce the crucible size, then you can control your panel power as well, and you can reduce your demand, electricity
So
demand also.
how,
So go
how we
for
can
smaller
reduce it
capacity.
in the existing furnace?
You have to change the crucible.
We
You have
have
to
to
go for a
change.
smaller crucible. Yeah.
Then all the things will be according to that, the panel and other things.
No, in the same panel, the manufacturer can put a tap, and he can put a tap at a 50% or 30% of the rated capacity, and the efficiency will be slightly disturbed. Maybe 1 or 2% the panel loss will increase, but with the same panel, you can operate a smaller crucible.
So for the time being, if we do trial with 100 kg capacity,
Yes.
but
It
be
will
below
certainly save.
it will below the coil height.
Yes, certainly it will be below
So
the coil
will it
height,
make
and
any
it will make a
problem?
positive impact. No, it will not make any problem in operation. But
Okay.
whatever savings we are targeting, we will not be achieving 100% of it, but
100. Okay.
only 50% saving we can achieve.
Right.
Yes. But even then, there will be saving.
Then it will saving.
Yes.
Second is, do you have any case study with you? What is the optimum power consumption for brass
For
for doing
brass,
such kind
for
of
brass,
activity,
it will
gravity
be
die
about
casting?
no. Such kind of activities are you can say that they are very unique in its case. But for other foundries, wherein there is full charge is discharged, means full liquid metal is dispensed within 10-15 minutes in a variety of molds, maybe in sand casting or sand plus gravity mix of it. Then in such a foundry, the electricity required from room temperature to tapping temperature, it varies between 390 to 420 units per ton for brass. 60-40 brass I am talking about.
390 to 420.
Yeah.
Right. But it may be that as our pouring time is high,
Yes, that is
so
the
due to
problem with your
holding,
case. Yes, yes. Due to holding, you are consuming more electricity. How much is your current figure?
it is between 0.9 to 1 unit per kg.
Oh, that is too high.
It's
Then
too high.
how much time are you consuming in melting?
For 150 kg, again, they take the first heat 2 hours, then
Okay,
next heat 1.5 hours.
okay. Is it covered during that time, as I explained in my presentation?
They cover only in the initial period when in the first load mainly,
Okay.
first batch.
See to it that when there is nothing going in or coming out from the furnace, it should be covered.
But the maximum problem is heat losses maybe during the pouring, as
Yes,
all the time we
it
have
is
to
there.
keep it open.
All the time you have to keep it open because there are three people,
Yeah.
and naturally there is no scope for closing the lid.
Uh,
and your pouring time is excessively high.
Yeah.
And that is why I have recommended that you reduce your pouring time
How?
by taking less material. You require only 22 kg per hour, then why are you taking 150 kg material?
220 kg? Yeah.
And you are melting 150 kg material.
Yes, that is excessive. Yeah.
So melt less, use a smaller crucible. Till that time, in the same crucible, melt very less quantity, 50 kg, 80 kg, like that. And then see the difference.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
And
will
if you
start.
see any difference, then immediately go for a smaller size crucible.
Solid crushing. Fine.
That will be your one-time investment, but it will save on perpetually. Lifelong asset हो जाएगा आपका वो. जिंदगी भर की बचत हो जाएगी.
अभी हम कुछ लोग इंडक्शन फर्नेस यूज कर रहे थे, उसके बाद एक फर्नेस हमने उसके बाद डेवलप करवाई है, विच इज वेरी इकोनॉमिकल आल्सो, जो रेजिस्टेंस टाइप है.
हाँ जी. हाँ.
विद द हीटर्स ओनली. तो पावर कंजम्पशन दोनों की सेम ही है, इंडक्शन एंड
सही बात है,
उसकी.
सेम ही रहेगी. क्योंकि
बट उसकी मेंटेनेंस काफी कम हो
हाँ
जाती
जी,
है.
बिल्कुल. ब्रास के लिए ये चलती है, दौड़ती है, मैं कहूँगा.
So it's better to use that resistance type furnace instead
Yes.
of induction.
And go for a smaller crucible.
Smaller crucible. Okay.
50 नंबर की कोठाली डालो उसमें बस.
Okay.
50 नंबर की कोठाली के लिए रेजिस्टेंस फर्नेस तैयार करवा के लो या घर पे तैयार करो. बहुत
Okay.
आसान होती है वो. और उससे आपका हर एक प्रॉब्लम खत्म हो जाएगा. आपका जो अभी 0.9 to 1 यूनिट आ रहा है, वो आधे यूनिट के लगभग आ जाएगा. हाँ.
Okay.
Yes,
So can you help us for that if we
Why
reduce
not?
the?
You have got my email address in my presentation. You
Okay.
can send me your
Yeah.
case study. I will help you out. No problem in that.
Thank you. And secondly, in one of our units, we have imported one furnace from Italy. It is low
Okay.
frequency
पर उसको
induction
हील मेटल
furnace.
लगेगा फिर, मतलब 50 किलो उसमें बचाना रहेगा कायम.
हाँ, वो एयर कूल्ड है और कंटिन्यूस चलानी पड़ रही है. So all that we are using for low pressure die casting, and now we may be using it for gravity die casting
ग्रेविटी में वो
machine.
नहीं परफॉर्मेंस देगी. एलपीडीसी में क्या होता है सर जी कि एलपीडीसी में आपकी डाई ऊपर से कवर होती है, रेडिएशन लॉसेस बंद हो जाते हैं, उसकी वजह से एलपीडीसी में उसका असर मिलता है. ग्रेविटी में आपकी क्रूसिबल तो खुली रहेगी.
पर मेनली मैंने देखा है जो हम प्रोसेस कर रहे हैं चाइना में या यूरोप में, लोग ज्यादा ग्रेविटी कास्टिंग मशीन यूज कर रहे हैं.
सही बात है. फॉसेट्स के लिए या
एलपीडीसी पे
ऐसे
नहीं जाते
आइटम के लिए आप कौन सा कास्टिंग कौन सा है आपका?
हमारा ग्रेविटी डाई कास्टिंग ब्रास का सेंट्रीफ्यूजिंग
फॉसेट्स.
फॉसेट्स.
तो फॉसेट्स के लिए तो वो टिल्ट टाइप ग्रेविटी पोरिंग ही अच्छा रहता है.
ओके.
आपके टिल्टिंग मशीन है या स्टेशनरी मशीन है?
नहीं, अभी तो मैनुअल कर रहे हैं हम.
ओके.
बट 1-2 महीने में इंस्टॉल करने जा रहे हैं ग्रेविटी डाई कास्टिंग.
बढ़िया बढ़िया
टिल्टिंग वाले.
बढ़िया.
So the other major problem which we have also given you, या आप किसी नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में उसको कवर करेंगे, that is the rejection rate.
उसको और 2 लेक्चर्स है आपने. 7 तारीख को और 13 तारीख को. एक डिफेक्ट एनालिसिस के बारे में 7 तारीख का लेक्चर है, वो जो फंडामेंटल हो जाएगा कि कौन से डिफेक्ट को क्या बोलेंगे, क्योंकि हमेशा ये तकलीफ सताती है हर एक कंसल्टेंट को. पोरोसिटी आ गई मतलब क्या होगा? वो इंक्लूजन है, गैस पोरोसिटी
आइडेंटिफाई नहीं कर पाते क्या चीज है.
करेक्ट. तो डिफेक्ट एनालिसिस, डिफेक्ट आइडेंटिफिकेशन, डायग्नोसिस, ये सब हो जाएगा अपना.
ओके.
हाँ. और उसके बाद 13 तारीख को जो लेक्चर होगा वो डिफेक्ट कंट्रोल एंड रेमेडीज, मतलब ब्रास के लिए खास रहेगा वो कि डिफेक्ट को कैसे पहचानेंगे. तो हम पहचान चुके. 13 तारीख को इसका इलाज क्या करेंगे उस पर. दोनों आप अटेंड कीजिए.
Definitely. I'll attend those, or I will ask my other supervisory staff also to attend that.
Sure.
और आपका भी इधर
I stay at
where
Pune,
do you stay?
Maharashtra.
पुणे. So अभी तो कोविड वाली प्रॉब्लम है.
हाँ जी.
So do you travel to this part of the country, चंडीगढ़ वाली?
एक जमाने में काफी आया करता था मैं चंडीगढ़, पर अभी बहुत 4-5 साल से
Okay.
नहीं आया.
चलिए नेक्स्ट कोई हम प्लान कर सकते हैं.
हाँ बिल्कुल आएंगे.
We have lot many foundries, non-ferrous foundries in
Yes,
faucets only.
Yes.
तो
In
हमारे
fact,
अपने भी
अभी
4-5 यूनिट है
कुलकर्णी
जो
साहब
कास्टिंग
का
कर रहे
जो
हैं.
लेक्चर हो गया वहाँ चंडीगढ़ में पिछले साल 2-3 दिन का कार्यक्रम था ना इनका. फगवाड़ा में.
ओके.
तो उसी को जोड़ के ये नॉन फेरस का भी करने का प्लान था, पर वो किसी कारण पीछे रह गया. अब उठाएंगे इसको आगे लेंगे.
नेक्स्ट कुछ प्लान करेंगे फिर.
हाँ बिल्कुल, क्लस्टर के साथ करेंगे तो आसान रहेगा.
हाँ क्लस्टर के साथ ही करेंगे.
हाँ.
थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Yes, you are most welcome, sir.
Sir, I have a small question. Hello.
हाँ बोलिए सर.
Hello.
Sir, I have a small question. As you suggested that at the start of the day, we should not start with full power.
Yes.
We are using an electric furnace resistance type, as Mr. Anand told you earlier in his query.
Right.
So we have a cold start every morning. So shall we go with full power or in electric?
For resistance furnace, you have to always go for full power.
Okay. Got it, sir.
Because
And you guided about a sandwich method.
yes.
Is it also recommended in case of electric?
Yes. Sandwich method is recommended for all melting, including gas-fired, coke-fired, oil-fired, whatever it may be.
Okay.
Sandwich method is irrespective of your heat source.
So,
Now,
like if we have a 200 kg
see,
crucible.
Mr. Samir, let me complete my topic regarding
Sure.
induction furnace versus resistance furnace.
Okay.
In both the furnaces, the heat generation is different. In
Okay.
induction furnace, heat is generated within the crucible and then it migrates to the lining. The metal gets heated first and then it passes on the heat to lining.
Okay.
And that is why a cold start has to be 80% in case of induction.
Okay.
But in case of resistance furnace,
Yeah.
it is the lining or the crucible which gets heated first.
True.
And then it passes the heat to metal. So resistance heating has to start with 100% heat, 100%
I got
power. Because once the crucible gets heated, its cracks will open naturally.
Yes. Yes.
And then the lead will melt and come out.
Yes.
Yes. So the mechanism is different in both the cases.
I got it. Thanks.
There is one question. We are into copper casting, but copper get oxidized and casting is not as per our requirement. Can any system for vacuum can be attached to induction furnace?
You have to specify the requirement. This is what you can say from Avinash Jangle. No, this is from Shashank.
Shashank,
We are into copper casting, but copper gets oxidized and casting is not as per. See, vacuum attachment to furnace is an expensive affair and its maintenance is a separate issue altogether. Instead, if you believe in metal treatment, then perform your metal treatment properly. You will get rid of all the oxides and your castings will come clean. Have I answered your query, Mr. Shashank?
You are asking about radiography.
See, you are asking about radiography. What level? And what kind of defect are you finding? Is it shrinkage? Is it oxide inclusion? Is it porosity, gas hole? What it is?
Shashank, you are already unmuted. So you can, you are unmuted, you can talk.
Good afternoon. Having problem.
Okay, you have written pinhole. Then pinhole has got nothing to do with your oxide or anything like that. Pinhole, which metal are you dealing in, Mr. Shashank? Which is your metal?
Pure copper.
Pure copper. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you have to go for oxidation, deoxidation, and later on degassing as a typical process in metal treatment.
Actually, we want to increase the quality of casting. So, on doing radiography, we are finding that it's level 3, level 4, not level 1, level 2.
Okay.
It's a critical casting. So, what best we can do to increase the quality of casting? That is what I wanted to ask.
See, if it is a pure porosity, then it will not be localized. It will be all over the casting.
Yeah.
If you are finding it localized at some spot in the casting, then it is something different.
So, all over the casting.
Okay, if it is all over, then it comes from the molten metal. You need not go for vacuum furnace. You have to go for degassing. There is a tablet called as low gas. It's calcium carbonate tablet. You have to immerse that tablet and degas the material.
So, we are doing that. And
Okay.
we are doing argon purging also.
Okay.
The quality
Then
of
what is the purity of argon?
pure argon, sir. 99.9%.
Okay. Not 99.9 will not suffice. 997 you require. 0.03% maximum moisture. That is UHP, ultra high purity argon.
Okay.
Even nitrogen will do. Whatever you get, either argon or nitrogen, but you have to go for ultra high purity. You have to use a porous plug at the end of your plunger so that gas bubbles of about 1.5 to 3 mm diameter appear from the plug. And what is your crucible size?
Goes for 700 kg casting. 700 kg.
Okay, but then you will be taking about a ton of metal.
Right, sir.
Okay, then for 1 ton metal, you will require about 20 to 25 minutes of degassing at about 20 liters per minute and 2 kg pressure. Then all the gas will go.
We have not done the measurement. What is the volume of degassing we are doing? That we have to check it out.
You do me a favor because you are not audible that clear. You have got my email address. Send your query to me. I will answer it by email.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Right.
Thanks.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Bam, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are running short. I think only 2 minutes are left. So
Yes.
we will conclude here. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining this webinar, and hope everybody has got some good knowledge and information about how to reduce energy consumption in non-ferrous metal as well. There are many points which are common in ferrous and non-ferrous, but there are few points which are not common and specific in for non-ferrous. Those I think are clarified by Bamsar very well. So thank you very much for this presentation and for the time. We'll stop here. Thank you once again to GIZ and MHMA for this nice webinar for all the participants. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks all. Yeah.